In this lecture, we're going to be doing the work of figuring out what the user has entered, then taking that text, doing some analysis on it, figure out how many words there are, and then also even sorting amongst those words and saying, okay, this was the most used word, the next most used, all that good stuff. But the big thing that I want you to understand here is the flow of information. That's kind of been the big key of this website. I just want you to understand the basics of how Django works. So let's say someone types in some information on the homepage, like this is a cool website, something like that, okay? And they go ahead and they hit the count button. It does take us to this count page, but let's go ahead and look at the URL in a bit more detail. So it takes us to the homepage /count/, and then we have question mark full text equal to, this is a cool website. So anytime in a website URL you see the question mark, that is the beginning of parameters to the website. So it essentially allows you to enter in a lot of different things. So for example, just for fun here, let's go ahead and go to YouTube for a second. So YouTube was taking a while and it finally loaded. Here's one of my videos from my YouTube channel. If you're interested, youtube.com/zappycode. But if we go to the URL for any video on YouTube, you'll see it's youtube.com/watch, and then there's that question mark, and in this case it's saying v is equal to, and this is a unique ID specific to this video. And you'll see sometimes, depending on where you've clicked and come from, there might be more parameters up here, but any website where you see a question mark after that, you'll see some name equals to and then a value there. And there might be, you know, after someone has done like this v equal to this, they then use the ampersand to say I have a new variable coming through. So if YouTube also wanted something like full text, it could say full text is equal to eggs or something like that, right? So this is a common practice amongst all websites that whenever you have a question mark, that's when you're going to start adding some parameters. So I just want to kind of break this down. If we go back to our home.html, right? So when we hit the form, the action is it's going to go to our count page. So that tells us why it went to our homepage /count. But then this full text equal to, like, how does that happen? Well, that is because we gave this text area the name of full text, and when we hit submit on that, it patched this onto the URL as a parameter there. So when someone enters submit on a form, it passes that information as a parameter onto the next page. So the question is then, how can we get this information here inside of our views.py so that then we can, you know, do the counting and all that good stuff? Well, it's through this request object. This request object tells us everything about the URL and even information about, you know, what computer the user's coming from, like are they running Mac, Windows, whatever. And so what we're going to do inside of here to get that information is we're going to get into request.get, and then in square brackets here, we're going to pass forward the key to a parameter that we're looking for. So in this instance, we're looking to see what full text is equal to. In this case, it should give us this is a cool website. So we're going to copy that, come back here to our website and paste that right in. So this should give us back the text, this is a cool website. So to test out and see if this is working, let's just go ahead and set this equal to some variable. I'll give it the same name that we had assigned it before of full text. So we're going to pull this out of the URL and now put it into a variable called full text. And then let's just go ahead and print this out. And if you're wondering where it is that this print is going to show up, it's going to show up inside of the terminal here. And so let's go back and put full text inside of there. Great, we'll hit save. And now we are going to reload this page. So we'll just go ahead and simply reload. And if we come back and look at this, look at that. This is a cool website got printed out. So that's how easy it is to pull the parameters up here from the top of a URL and have access to it here inside of our views.py. So rather than print this out, I think we should go ahead and send this to the count page so that the user can actually look at that. And remember before when we passed over some information through a dictionary? Let's do that now. So I'm going to go ahead and add something else here in this render. I'm going to do a comma, and then I'm going to pass in a dictionary, and for the key, I'm going to call it full text. This is just a string. This isn't referencing this variable yet, but then we're going to say colon and then pass in the full text object. So by doing this, Then whenever I reference this full text inside of my count.html, it should give me back whatever the user entered. So if we go back here, we're going to have something up here that says something like there are 14 words in your text, and then we might do something like have the original down below. So we want to paste out that original, which in this case is the full text. So we'll just do our two curly brackets and say full text. Remember, this is how we access items inside of that dictionary that we pass to this HTML. And like I said, we might put something in front of this where we do another H1 tag and we say like original, and we'll do a little colon there and end that H1. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Original is kind of weird. It makes it sound like we're doing translation or something. Let's go ahead and call this like full text. Okay, or maybe your text is a better way to describe that. Okay, I keep trying to get the right wording here, but let's go ahead now and reload this page, and look at that. So it says there are 14 words. That's not accurate yet, but it says your text, and then it has this is a cool website. So if we go back to the home page and we just type in some other random things, whatever, and hit count, look at that. It shows up there for us. Now the question is, how can we do the counting? Well, a very simple way to count this, let's go back to our views, is we can take this full text and we can say full text dot split, just like that, and it's going to split up this string into a list of the words inside of there. It's going to say wherever there's a space, I'm going to consider that's breaking apart two separate words. And so we can call this something like word list. So word list is equal to this full text dot split. And so if we wanted to figure out the count, we could then pass another attribute inside of this dictionary. So we'll do a comma. Then for the key, we're going to say something like count. And then for the value, we're going to say whatever the length of word list is. So we'll go ahead and pass that in, word list, save this, and then inside of count.html, instead of saying 14, we're going to say inside of here count. So we'll go ahead and save that, reload this page, and look, there are 8 words. If we want to test to see if this is really the case, let's go ahead and clear this. Let's just do hi there, so this should only be 2 words. Boom! It says there are 2 words and your original text is hi there. So we could stop here and say, I mean, come on. We counted how many words were inside of there, right? This is a word count website, but it'd be really cool if we could go through and analyze and say, okay, what word appeared the most? Because, for example, let's go ahead and get the Gettysburg address. Thank you, Google, for fixing my horrendous spelling here. So here we go, Gettysburg address, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, and we'll go back and paste it here in our website. We've got to go back to the home page, paste that in, count. So cool, there's 278 words, but wouldn't it be cool to know which words appeared the most? Well, we can actually do that. So let's go back to our views.py. And this is basically the idea I think that we should follow in order to do this. So we now have word list, which is a list of all the words inside of that text. So we should basically go through each and sort of make a new dictionary that says, okay, if there's a new word that we haven't found, we're going to add it to this dictionary, and then we're going to set its value. The key is going to be the word, and then value will be number 1. And then if we ever see that word again, we'll just increment this from 1 to 2 to 3, right? Whatever, we'll go through the full list there. So we're going to need a for loop. So we'll say for word in word list. Okay, so this is going to loop through all the words inside of that list. And we're going to first check and see if it's inside of the dictionary. And I guess before we do that, then we need to create a dictionary. So we're going to create a new dictionary that I'm going to call word count dictionary. Maybe word count's a bit extreme. Let's just do word dictionary. Okay, and then in order to check and see if there's something inside of there, we're going to say if word in, we're going to pass our word dictionary then. So it's going to say, hey, if the word is inside of there already, then this is a situation where then we want to just add it to the dictionary or increase the number. So we're going to do increase here. And then the else situation of this is going to say, oh, we need to add to the dictionary. Okay, so in the add to dictionary situation, we are going to say, all right, word dictionary, and we're going to pass in the word as a key, and we're going to set that equal to the number 1. And in the increase situation, we're going to do the same thing, except instead of setting it equal to 1, we're going to do plus equals 1 because there's already a number there. We're just trying to increment it. So this hopefully should do all the counting for us, and we'll have this new word dictionary. But then the next thing that we need to do is we need to be able to turn this into a list. I mean, we could technically, for example, this is a little bit exciting. I haven't tried this before on Django, but I'm going to see if we can't print out the whole dictionary, see what happens. So let's pass in a new key, and let's just give it the name of the variable. That's usually a simple way to do this. And then we'll pass over the actual variable. And then let's have that show up inside of our count. So we'll do another h1 tag here where we'll say word count colon. Another little h1 there, and then now let's go ahead and add this word dictionary. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save this. This is a little bit experimental. I don't know if this is going to work, and we'll reload this page. And yeah, this is not working for us. It's saying word dictionary is not